And we are live. Thank you, everyone, for joining us at RPG Enlightenment. I know I haven't really been out and about and making some videos more recently, but we've been taking some time apart for the holidays. So my apologies for that. Starting in the new year, we will start posting a whole lot more. But because of the holidays, it does make it a little bit harder to get together like we usually do. But tonight, we will be taking a slight glimpse into our homebrew world of Tiira, which is something that we have essentially made from scratch. We did a mini session 0 and played a little bit of microscope in order to create it. But yeah, so I am Josh, the host of RPG Enlightenment. I will pass it on to Jaren right now so that way you can start screen sharing and we can all do our thing.
Okay, so what we have here is a Fiasco playset that me and Josh put together specifically for this setting. And that's what we'll be playing with tonight. For those that are familiar with Fiasco, it's very simple, really focusing on the story as a system. So the way it basically works is each person rolls 4d6, and then we keep track of the numbers and we pick between relationships, locations, objects, and needs.
So I have my dice ready. Does everybody else?
Well, I have 3d6, so I'll have to re-roll one.
I'm using my polyurethane or whatever they're called. Polyherbal.
I'm trying to pick the dice I didn't use when we were character creating because it screwed me over in that. So
garbage one.
Well, oh, you lucky. I hate you for using Xanathars on this.
Well, I figured that while we would do this until we start actually playing, I gotta do that the rest of the background for my character, but we could do that later. I just have to have it with me at all times because I've spent so much on it.
Nice. Okay, so I rolled.
Just have it tattooed on your body all over.
Nice. So I rolled a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 6.
You know, it feels so nice to roll this many dice.
You're telling me after I rolled up my entire character, basically in a truck with the dice rolling out?
So I got the weirdest thing ever. I got 5, 5, 5, 4.
5, 5, 5, 4. Okay.
I got 6, 2, 6, 2.
What was that?
6, a 2, a 6, and a 2.
Okay, so 2 6s and 2 2s.
I got a 1, 3, 4, 6.
1, 3, 4, 6. So a pretty good spread. 2 of at least each of them. So we take turns going round, and I say the actual DM for the campaign should be the one to kick off the first pick.
Completely agree.
All right, so then what do I do? Because I've never officially played Fiasco.
You can pick a relationship category using one of the numbers we rolled, a location, an object, or a need. But you only pick the category.
Ooh. Okay, what's location 5?
Okay, location and...
Well, 4 or 5, because I'm just going to use my dice because I
Yeah.
I at least have those in front of me.
You can use any A and I'll read them off. 4 is the inn and 5 is catacombs.
Oh. I'm going to go catacombs.
Okay.
So I'm going to take away one of my D5s.
Yeah. And anyone can use those dice.
No, I know. But for me to keep
Yeah.
track of what I have. Yeah.
So the location category is catacombs. So everyone write it down on paper, index cards, whatever you're using, Google Doc, etc. So
All right, so then if we go my left to right, then that would put the other Josh going next.
okay. So Josh, you can define the catacombs. You can pick a category for a relationship, an object, or a need.
Sure, I'll do object. Let's do object number 2.
Okay, object 2. So a weapon
Weapons or armor.
armor. Object
Interesting.
is weapons / armor. And we lose a 2.
All right, so what numbers are still available?
We have 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s, 2 5s, and 4 6s.
4 6s? Holy.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And what have we used so far?
A 2 and a 5.
Do we need to keep
Alright.
track of those dice, or are you doing it?
I'm doing it.
I
All
got
right,
it
so
on
Jaren, you're next.
Okay.
But you have a little bit of an edge because you were there when I was thinking stuff. But
you were there.
Yeah. I think I am actually going to define a relationship. I think I will pick it with the DM, and it's going to be a mystery bond.
okay. Okay.
So you have a mystery bond with Josh.
Yep.
All right, which means I have to give you that specific number, right?
No. Oh, you don't. You still can't do pretty much anything.
Okay, so Jordan, you're next.
All right.
Hell, I think according to that, you can even define my relationship with Jaren.
Yes, you can.
Your boyfriends.
People tend not to, but they tend to let the people involved define it. But literally anyone could.
I don't know. It's kind of bugged me though that we haven't done the need yet, because then we could fill everything. I'm tempted to do the.
Well, then do
All
the
right.
need.
And
I
do
think I'm gonna
it.
do the need, and I'll do a 3.
So there's a need to get rich.
So is that his particular need, or is that the party need?
It could be anything.
Okay.
That's when we talk about it. We kind of decide who it applies to. And
All right. So is there anything that has not been picked yet? Really?
As far as category, just the relationship between the other Josh and me, and Jordan and me for what I wrote down.
Well, I meant as far as categories, as far as relationship, location.
Yeah, there's some relationship, but category-wise, for location, object, and need, we have at least one of each.
Okay, so let's go back down to locations and let me see my options here.
Okay, so you want to define the location.
Well, of course. I need to understand what's going on. especially being the DM for the entire.
Okay.
No, you don't need to know anything. It's fine.
So for the catacombs, we have the Hall of Heroes, the King's Crypt, the Tomb of the Forgotten, the Crypt of the Future's Past, the Pool of Lost Souls, and the Sentinel Gate.
So do I have? Well, I have a 4, so I'm gonna use my 4.
Okay.
Nice. Throw a
Crypt
little X-Men in
of
there.
the Future's Past.
Love that movie.
That was a good movie. That was a good movie.
Crypt.
Yeah, so essentially you should be able to use that to determine what I thought of for that. But let's see if you do. And then back around to Josh.
Can you give me the categories of like major categories one more time?
We have relationships that still need to be defined for category.
So essentially, the location has already been picked completely.
Yeah.
The
object,
need has yet to be defined.
the need and the object still need to be defined, and then we have a lot on relationships.
Okay. So I could pick to choose a relationship between somebody.
Yep.
So essentially, you can either define your relation or pick a category for your relationship with someone else, define my relationship with Jaren, or
define the object or need.
yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and define a relationship between me and Jordan.
Well, you can pick a category for.
Yeah.
For-
Pick a category
for
for
that.
that. So
Yeah.
let's see.
So you can pick from family, fellowship, debt, culture, rivals, or mystery bond.
Okay. Let's see. Scroll up for me.
Now, do we still have to use our dice numbers for these?
Yeah, we're using the dice number pool that we made.
Okay, what's left?
We have 2 1s, 2 2s, a 3, a 4, 2 5s, and 3 6s.
I'll use a 2 to define it as a fellowship.
Okay.
And I just want to say that there's only one thing missing from the weapons and armors category, and it's the flail of engorgement.
No, it's in the playset.
I didn't see it there.
I made sure that it was inside the playset.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It's not
Okay,
in the weapons and armor section, though.
Okay.
Got to think of a name for the whip now too.
As
Give
long
me
as it's
just 1 minute.
That's just enough for me.
Yep. Okay. Right. So next, I believe it's Jordan.
Yes. Well, I'm still writing down. So me and Josh is a fellowship. That's our relationship.
Yep.
Okay. The object we have.
Make sure you differentiate between the two Joshes too, so that you don't get mixed up.
Yeah, I called the other one DM.
Okay, that works.
Oh gosh. I'm having fun with relationships. I think I'll do my relationship between my character and Jaren's.
Okay. We got basically every type left.
I'll use a 5. What's 5?
5 is rival.
Done. My rival is the gay noob.
And that's Jordan and me. Rivals. Okay. I believe that takes it back to the DM.
All right. I should probably define my relationship with you now, shouldn't I, Jaren?
Probably.
All right. What are the options here?
We have every number left available.
All right, so I made you the primary screen, so no matter who talks, it's still going to be here, just to make it simpler.
Yeah, that's what I do too with this. Because it's easy.
Ooh. There's some good options that I really want to play with.
Number
Well,
2.
pick one.
Pick number 3, my lord.
See, I'm really fighting between 2 and 5.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's some good ones. I like number 6 myself.
See, but at the same time, I don't want to be qualified as a gay gnome. Like, I don't want that as like who I am.
You don't want to be mistaken.
That's the thing. We don't know if we're using our characters or not. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, come on. If you're doing mistaken identity, we have to do it where he's mistaken as a gay gnome.
No, you know what? I'm gonna take 5 and say Soul to Steal
And so
or Soul Stealer.
So now we need to decide who's who.
I want to say that I'm Soul Stealer. Just for one, this is like a one shot, so it makes no sense to have me as like. And for you being a gay gnome, I don't think you would really want to steal someone's soul.
Well, I don't know.
Gay great people.
I don't know. My gay gnome is a neutral evil druid.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean you think souls should be free, not stolen?
True.
So then I have a question then. Tostinos or Lay's?
You mean Tostitos?
Yeah.
Pringles.
Oh, screw Pringles.
Good.
Well, hold on. Do you have types of each?
Okay. So it would be the Tostitos hint of lime or the Lay's barbecue.
All right, now I have to break it down a little farther. Is it wedges or is it scoops for Tostitos?
No, it's just the normal chips.
Okay, now what's the dip?
There is no dip. It's just which type of chip.
Then barbecue.
There's no dip, there's barbecue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tostitos are meant to be dipped.
That's right.
See, I was fighting with myself because, like, okay, this is completely like outside the game, but I'm like sitting here with 2 bags of chips in front of me, and it's just like I don't know which one I want. Okay,
mix them in a bowl.
Yeah.
See, but barbecue and hint of lime don't mix. I've tried it. It's horrible.
Yeah, I think for this is having someone come after the gay gnome soul is probably better.
Yep. I already have the idea for the
play that, which I'm sure I will, just because it's too funny not to. Okay, so that leaves the
Josh is next.
Yeah, to the other Josh.
Oh, is it my turn? Let's see.
Oh, and that was a 5. So we have no more 5s.
Okay. Can I define the weapon or armor that's in question? Okay, let's see.
I love how he completely passes the weapons and armor.
Yep. There we go.
Let's see.
So no one gets the flaming bow.
I would probably say the God's Hand, being that it's like a catacomb.
Okay, so you want to use one of our ones?
It makes sense with the freaking God war.
And the setting, yeah, the God's Hand.
I really hope that's literally someone cut off a God's hand and has somehow made it into a weapon.
Into like a fist weapon?
No, it's one of those. What were they when they were a kid? Where you had the sticky hand on the end of the string.
Okay. Okay. I believe that either takes it to me or to Jordan.
Yeah, no, it's you, Jaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you.
That's what I thought. So I think I will actually go. And
The location's completely done, right? Catacombs, Crypt of Futures Past.
yeah.
Yep.
Now we can have more than one location.
I don't know. These catacombs are pretty tempting.
We can?
Yes. If
No,
we
I
have enough dice, we can.
I want to go to the Crypts of Future Past.
I think I am going to. Tough call.
Go dead.
Who's he still have to define with? Oh, Josh.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think I'm gonna pick the category for me as a debt.
Okay. So that means
And that means
you owe
we
me
have
one of
no
those debt?
more 3s or no more 5s.
Does that mean you owe me a debt because you're picking the relationship?
Or
Or
the
do
other
I owe you a debt?
round. We have
Essentially, you pick the thing,
Yeah.
and then you guys can decide together which one.
and we
Yeah.
decide who it holds what part.
Well, being that they're all O's, would you be the Oer or the OE?
That's something we decide together.
Okay. The OA.
The
Although
the
one of them kind of interesting because it's like there's a relationship, but there's a third party involved.
All right. I think I'm up, right?
Yep, Jordan, you're up.
All right. I need to define my relationship with our wonderful DM.
Okay.
You mean pick a category?
Yeah.
All right, so you got family, fellowship, debts.
You
I'll
have
use a 6.
you have family, fellowship, culture,
6. What's
and
6?
mystery bond.
6 is mystery bond.
Yep.
What was 4?
4 is culture.
Okay. And what was number 1?
Family.
I'm gonna do the culture. I'm gonna do the number 4.
Okay, so we have only 1s, 2s, and 6s left. And a wild dice.
We have 4 6s, huh?
No,
I thought we had 3.
we have
3?
2 6s left now. 1 2 and 1 1.
Oh, we only have 2 6s?
Yep, that's all that's left.
Okay.
So what did you say was our number, Jordan?
We're 4 culture.
All right, so let's see what options I have.
Yep. You can define.
No, I meant as far as between me and Jordan. That's why.
Yeah. Go
What
to
options
culture.
That's for culture.
Right there.
Yeah. You can be guardians from the same organization or guild, followers of the same god, or noble and commoner.
I will tell you now, I wrote into my character's backstory that he's kind of an atheist.
Wow, how edgy.
See,
Dude.
I'm thinking because of what you are in the campaign, I'm not trying to make it harder on you. So I'm gonna use a 3 and say merchant's business partner.
I don't have any 3s.
So he's taking the wild dice.
Oh yes, okay, perfect. I completely forgot about the wild. Well played, Josh. Well played.
Well played.
It looks like me and you have some business to attend to.
Yeah.
Josh, did we already get a relationship?
You guys didn't.
Okay. So Jaren had the mystery bond with Josh.
The two Joshes don't have a relationship yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the only relationship that hasn't been selected, right?
Yeah, for category.
Just for pure amusement, you should do the mistaken identity.
That would be hilarious.
That would be, and it's possible if one person picks mystery bond and then the other person takes the 6.
Yeah.
The last 6.
So we'd have to deal with both of the last 6s.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't really have a choice, do we?
You have a 1 and a 2 left.
Yeah, we have 1, 2, and 2 6s.
The wild got used. So
we have 1, 1, 1, 2, and 2 6s.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
No, yeah. Josh's turn.
No, I defined me and you, your relationship. Yeah, so it's the other Joshua.
Yes.
Did you define our relationship yet, Jordan?
No, me and Josh is the only one that's actually been defined, I think.
Okay. So we have a fellowship.
No, it's not. Never mind. But no, we haven't done it yet.
Okay. Can you go up to the fellowship category for me?
Fellowship. Okay. So you can pick first to work together by employer, reluctant allies, or masters, and student or servant. Luckily, there wasn't a 5 available.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna go with oh man. Either forced to work together or reluctant allies. I mean that's kind of like the same thing.
Well, the other one too, I think about, because we have our relationship we did with the character creation was one of us was a fighter and one of us was a coward. And that would work if I was trying to learn magic in the first place, being master and student, and you were trying to fight, and I'm just like, fuck this, and ran.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, so master, so you're taking one of the 6s.
So no more mistaken identity.
Nope.
There's still one more 6, I think.
There's
but there's
6,
one.
but you can't pick a bond and then define it with the 6.
I think I won't even actually have a chance to define my own relationship.
Yeah, we might have to add another wild dice.
No, you guys define it between the two Joshes.
Did you settle on something between Jordan and Josh's cultural relationship?
No.
Yeah, for me, I stick out the debt and the
we still with that. Me and Jaren.
So I got 2 things left for me to define.
Josh don't even have a relationship yet.
Wait, who's your rival?
Jordan is the rival.
Okay, so Jordan and Jaren rivals.
Yeah.
Yes. An epic battle between gay and straight.
So we might just end up picking a couple things because we haven't defined the need to get rich yet either.
That's right.
We still haven't defined a need.
We have
the category, but we haven't defined it.
How does that work when you're out of dice?
We either have to pick as a group or we have to add wild dice and let the person whose turn it is pick.
I'm okay with either of those choices.
The really the way the system itself works is that once you're out, it's wide open.
Yeah, we'll just do it that way. You have to work through all the dice that we have available. Once all that is gone, then we can just randomly select.
Yeah, when we play it.
Yeah, but I would recommend to try to hurry up a little bit because I know we only have till 9.
Yeah. Yeah. So whose go is it?
It's yours, Jaren.
Mine?
Yep.
Oh, well. Oh, then I'm gonna define the debt. I am going to use the last SQ. Oh, oh. So what? So, so one of us owes a soul to a demon lord and archfey, because of a bargain the other person made. Now we just gotta determine who made the bargain and who owes the soul.
There was something we did in the microscope with demons. Was it?
Demons stayed the same. It was devils that
Usually
changed.
changed to good.
Yeah, it was devils that were
They're
changed.
neutral. They're not good.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Now I already have the DM out to steal my soul. So if the DM played a demon lord or an archfey,
Yeah, I have no problem playing a demon lord. I'll play a demon lord. Fuck you all. Okay, I'm a demon lord.
okay. Hey, so in that case, I would owe my soul. Oh, and then Josh would have made the bargain.
Which
Well,
is nice,
no.
'cause it defines their relationship a little bit without having to roll for it.
Well, who are you rolling with for the debt, Jaren?
Me.
That's the other Josh.
So what if Josh promised me your soul for something?
Exactly.
That's it.
The God Hand.
The God Hand, yes.
That could be.
Well, okay, so essentially, well, was that the item that was picked for it, the God Hand?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was the object that we picked.
All right, so Josh promised me, well, your soul for in exchange
The
for the God.
Gaynome soul for the God Hand.
Okay, that's simple enough. Everybody cool with that? And it makes sense for me to be like something that isn't necessary throughout the campaign too.
Exactly.
All right, so then Jaren, you're done. So Jordan. So what else needs to be defined?
Let's do the need. I have a 1 left, and let's do the need.
We have a need, and I know Jordan and me have a rivalry that needs defined still.
Wait, what's 1 in the relationship? Because we haven't given Josh and Josh a relationship yet. I just want to see what it is.
Family would be the category.
Oh, that would be interesting.
The demon and the demon.
It would either be family, lovers and spouse, or mystery bond, and they're bonded by a great prophecy. Because if we define both category and the relationship.
Well, our need is to get rich, and I guess that's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to give them the mystery bond relationship.
Okay.
Which means I have no choice but to choose by a great prophecy.
Right.
Yep. Or you could leave it undefined and allow Jordan and me to define our rivalry.
So then I can define your rivalry as out to find the same treasure.
Yep.
Which then would give room for Luke to come in later on with his treasure map. I'm okay with that. Out to find the same great treasure.
Okay. Out to find. And that just leaves yours undefined.
So we're still bound by mystery mystery bond, right?
Yep. And then basically whoever brings it up will get to define what it is.
Okay.
We'll
so the
see.
need
The
is
next person up is Josh.
who's
So
rivals? Rivals
Yep.
out to find same treasure.
Except for we are out of
Yeah,
numbers.
we're out of numbers.
so now, Josh, you get to decide out of the D6 what is our relationship.
Or you can leave it unspoken and it whatever it plays out to be.
So we only we only have, or I would have to define the relationship.
Well, we have no dice, so essentially you have a D6 to decide. So you can either roll a D6 or choose from the 6.
Yep. Or you can leave it undefined and then whoever brings it up in play defines it.
Yeah, I think it's best to leave the mystery bond between the demon and the mortal undefined.
I mean, as far as mortal races, the tiefling is the closest you're going to get to a demon.
That's true.
I mean, my whole thing too is if
I
he
kind-
promised me
I
your
kinda-
soul,
That's kind
that's
of
already
yeah.
a relationship.
That's true.
I mean, we could revolve all of this around the God's Hand. Like me and Jaren can be out to find the God's Hand. He
Exactly.
trades his soul to get the God's Hand.
And I'm just a demon waiting for a soul.
And you have the God's Hand.
I kind of like the idea of that relationship being a case of mistaken identity because he's a tiefling and a demon lord.
I mean, demons don't necessarily have to have horns and be demonic, but
Yeah. I would say
No, because I was honestly thinking to be full of beauty.
Yeah.
A demon lord with full of beauty.
but
So-
I liked the idea of the mistaken identity. I thought that could be funny.
No, it would be funny because we're both Josh.
Yeah, that's already a case of mistaken identity.
Yeah, really. But yeah,
Well, we're out of dice, so it's left unspoken.
yeah, it's left unspoken unless the other Josh picks one.
No, I'm good.
Cool.
I'd rather leave it unspoken.
And then our need to get rich is left unspoken as well.
yeah, that's self-explanatory. Though. I feel like you don't have to define that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's more of methods. It's
My method is to get money.
hey. So we can get started, and someone else can and do the first scene because I need to pull up the actual Fiasco base for when we do the Guild and Aftermath.
Oh, you didn't bring that up to me in private. Okay.
Secret.
So then I will start off seeing as I know what it is. Or at least I know what the original intention of it was. As we begin our journey, we find ourselves in the catacombs, underground a great distance. In the manor, it is filled with the cobwebs of ancient years. But the things that stand out to all of us are the fresh tombs. And upon each tomb lies a name. Upon closer inspection, everyone in the party realizes their names are on the tomes themselves. So essentially everybody realizes that their names are on the actual sarcophaguses in the room.
I'll Or Fibbin, I guess. We'll run his hand over it and just shudder real quick. Like, that's a bit unsettling.
I'd just begin to laugh. Who thinks that they will kill me of all people?
Well, I'd say it's whoever made these tombs.
They can only dream of such.
The only one I don't really get is the short one. I mean, he could have made this tomb himself. He's ancient.
Well, you know, I have carved several odd tomb in my day. But I don't play that rough.
Well, at your age, I'm sure you've had this tomb prepared for a while.
No. It's much too dark and damp. I need to be up where everyone can see how fabulous I am.
Fabulous, huh? That is what you define yourself as?
Well, yeah, just look at this sense of fashion. I mean, have you ever seen such a beautiful cloak?
I see something beautiful, but it's only something that I wish to eat.
There's enough bickering. We need to find the God's hand. Shall we keep moving?
Oh, yeah, as I suppose. Perhaps it's in your tomb.
And at that point, Safi would kind of try and push the top off of the sarcophagus.
I think Fibbin will go help.
Yeah, she's not very strong.
I mean, I'm not either, but...
Yeah, 4 hands are better than 2.
Alright, so let's give her a swift push.
Now, Safi, you of all people promised me something. And if you don't deliver, I will have your soul as well.
I'm good on my word. You must seek the treasure with me. Once that is done, we can discuss our business.
Fibbin will kind of shoot Saphius a little bit of a stink eye, something deeper there, and look back at you, demon, and be like, "Well, trust me, she'll keep her word."
For your sake, I hope so. And as you guys kind of push open this sarcophagi, it takes you a little while to kind of push it completely open, the stone weighing more than what either of you really expected. It pushes open, and inside lies emptiness, blackness, almost black fungi covering the inside of these tombs, almost as if these sarcophagi have been essentially made long before you all were even born.
Safi, having known a thing or two about plant life, kind of come up and rub that disgusting black fungus that lines the inside of our sarcophagus. This is very strange. These have been here for some 200 or 300 years.
So back when I was young, those were the good old days.
300 years. I mean, that's not possible. I'm 20. How did someone know they were going to need this? I
Believe
still
me.
have 160 years left, I hope.
Believe me, this kind of fungus does not grow where it is not having the chance to ferment in some sort of mild environment such as this over the course of many, many years.
Ugh. At least we know the God's hand isn't in here. Maybe we should push open another one.
I agree.
Try as you might.
You could help.
I'm here for one thing. The knowledge that I hold is not for you, mortal men, to know. I will accompany you upon this endeavor until that which you seek is found. But I will not be of any help to those who do not offer me proper sacrifice.
It's like that dealing with the dragon scales all over again.
Now, what have you guys done and dragged me into? I'm only here for money.
Trust me, the artifact which I seek is worth many hundreds of gold. We will not go empty-handed.
Trust me, I know these two from various dealings. They're both here for money as well.
Oh, Mr. Wobbles. You of all people will get your proper hand upon your joyous evening. You will be given the hand of which will give you plenty of comings forward.
As Fiven starts pushing on the next tomb, probably his own, he'll go to his own just to see. He kind of laughs a minute and goes, your name is Wobbles.
Well, of course. Don't you know of the glitter gems? I mean, we are somewhat famous.
Oh, God. You remind me of a gnome my parents told me about who came to our village, baptized the young ones.
Oh, really? Awful funny. And he kind of chuckles. I remember when I used to baptize children.
I'm sure you do. Now let's push this open.
Go
I can give a
ahead.
hand.
I don't think my 35 pounds will help much.
I don't think so either. I'll use. Let's push.
I'll help you.
So which tomb are you guys pushing?
Mine.
Okay. So upon pushing it open, you find the same fungi, but it hasn't seemed to grow as far as it did in the tomb prior. It seems a little younger.
I'll look over at Safi and just kind of laugh. Well, looks like you're going to die before I do.
That remains to be seen. She kind of says nervously. She walks over to the black fungus of Fiven's coffin and gives it a look over. Yes, it seems like this has only been here for 30 to 40 years.
Not bad. Well, I still haven't found what we're looking for, so I suppose the next one. But maybe I can make some quick work of this, and I'll flip over open my spell book a little bit and look one over and just be like, yeah, this will do. Point my wand at the next tomb at probably Glitter Gem's tomb, and using Earth Tremor, I'll just split it open.
And you're busting open glitter gems.
Yeah.
Upon opening it, give me 1 second.
Well, I really doubt it would be in my tomb.
I'll give it a few days. Probably you.
I should still have another good 20 to 30 years left.
Oh. Well, the fungus will decide that.
Plenty of I'm to gain some money and enjoy the rest of my life.
And upon pushing it open, it's that same black fungus, but along with that fungus, you begin to see slightly shininess lining that fungi, almost glowing in sparkles.
It's certainly your tomb, Glitter Gem.
Of course. And I think that's a good spot to end the first scene. And since that was the DM's scene, we need to decide if it was a positive or negative result for the demon lord.
Oh.
You kind of left it open-ended, but
Yeah.
it kind of does sound like a positive thing. If what's in that tomb is what I think it is.
Yeah.
I'm thinking at the moment I wanted to say negative simply because he hasn't gotten what he was promised yet.
That's true. By the end of it, he hadn't gotten it in hand.
Yeah, so it's really kind of a neutral thing for the demon lord himself.
Yeah.
But I think I would say it's more of a negative than a positive, simply because he hasn't gotten his objective yet.
Yeah, but I agree. If it's what I think we're looking for, I'd say positive.
Okay. So DM, write down that you have one black die.
I have a black die. Ooh, what are
Yeah.
black die?
When we go to do the tilt in the aftermath, it determines kind of what happens. Fiasco's a little weird like that.
I'm just posting it in the chat. It just makes things simpler. I don't have paper.
I'm writing them down for you.
So I think we should go in order on the DM's screen. So DM, who's next up?
Josh would be after me.
Okay. All right. Are we rolling again?
Nope. You get to decide whether you want to basically start the scene and resolve the scene.
Okay. We're still in the same place, right?
Yeah, same location.
Okay. Yeah, that was my big question. Okay. Let's see. Huh. Okay, I'll start the scene.
Okay.
So after the top of the casket was broken open by the spell, before anyone had a chance to peek inside, Safi would look over the top to see that same black fungus, and amongst a couple of shining, glimmering gems. Let's see. Inside would be a small silver wand, and she would just pick it up and look it over. This is not exactly what I had in mind. The godsend. What do you think, Vivian?
Well, Matt, I mean, let me see. And you'll kind of like pick it up, just kind of look it over. Kind of, like an Ollivander in Harry Potter, just critiquing it. And you'll think, I mean, no one's ever really known what the godsend looks like. I mean,
I didn't exactly get a description, only the location where it would be held. Perhaps we should check the last tomb.
yes, the demon's tomb. And without anybody noticing, Fiven's really going to quickly pocket the wand and try and do it without anyone seeing it.
And upon reaching the last tomb that lies there in front of all of you, it is the Inferno Red, laced highly with the skulls of the dead, almost lining the outskirts where the lid would lie. What do you do?
Well, I think we found his tomb.
It certainly fits his demeanor.
Rubbles is gonna look over at Five Eyes. Are you sure you want to put that in your pocket? I knew I misplaced that.
I didn't put anything in my pocket.
Okay, you can keep my flail.
You swing that flail at me, I swear to be the last thing you see.
And Robert just chuckles. Oz goes, after all, that little flail in your pocket, it provided much entertainment.
Let's just push this tomb open. And Wobbles, we push it. With the look of this one, you're going inside first. And with that, I'll just kind of give it a good shove.
And upon pushing this infernal tomb open, in lies the lining itself. Almost looks like it's a completely separate world. It's lined with infernal red, fiery, flaming lava, blackened buildings every so many inches. It almost looks like an entire map, if you will, and lined inside the tomb itself. And in the embedded part, almost where the body would lie, it's almost as if there's a chunk missing from the center of it. Almost as if there should be something there, but there's not.
Oh, this.
I think that's a good spot to up on that scene. We kind of
king of
have to
cliffhangers
go
here.
a little bit faster than normal because of time limits. But I would say it was a positive for that for us. Sorry, I think your name is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say positive.
Because we found a map that may lead us to the God Hand.
Unless what we found was the God's Hand, in which case, since Fiven took it, it would be a negative outcome.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no telling yet.
Yeah, we'll just go with positive, I guess. I'm gonna go run to the bathroom. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
All right. I
And
guess it's a 2-second break.
Yeah,
A minute or two break.
I believe the next one up is Jordan. Or is
I
it?
think you're next.
No, you're
actually,
next, Jared.
Okay.
But we'll wait till Josh gets back to do the next scene.
And I suggest we only go round once because we're
For time, I think.
low on time.
I mean, technically, we still have a little bit under an hour. And the scenes are going by, what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
Yeah, they usually go like 5 minutes is about right. But then we have Act 2 also. And epilogues.
Okay, I'm a little upset you did not walk me through any of this while we were prepping.
That's because we were making the playset, not going over the Fiasco rules.
Fine.
We did that ad in the session 0.
I'm gonna go grab my cigar. I'll be right back.
Alright, back.
Okay, welcome back.
Other Josh went to grab his cigar real fast.
Yeah, I was coming in right when he said that.
But yeah, we literally got done with writing out the different options for the playset, like right before we started this hangout. So there really hasn't been time to explain how Fiasco itself works.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Daniel's doing my artwork tomorrow, finishing my etching
Nice.
and the line work and all that.
You guys are doing just fine for the Fiasco.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going by fast and then like he kind of expected it to be more of like a one shot.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can continue at shore scene, Jaren, so go ahead and describe. I'm just gonna light.
Yeah. I am actually gonna pick to resolve the scene.
Yeah, this is a good one to resolve. Good choice.
So the rest of you get to decide what's going on as we're kind of looking in this tomb at this partial map.
So is this like, the way he described it's like a 3D map inside the tomb, like another dimension?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm picturing.
So maybe this is like straight up his dominion, like this demon's dominion.
Could
Like we kind of like, I don't know. So he's in this plane because someone like Beetlejuiced him out or something, but that's his thing, and he can't go back. That last missing chunk is a soul that he needs to fill that hole in order to complete the map so that he can go back. Each chunk of that thing is a soul, and that's the last piece, that little chunk missing in the middle. And he needs one more soul to fill it.
It makes sense. And so that kind of leaning away from the demon of Robles was kind of drop his voice, even though knowing the demon lord would still hear him, goes, it's probably one of ours.
No one said anything about it being yours.
I didn't say mine, I said one of ours. After all, we do know one of us made a deal with the demon.
I'm gonna say it's his.
From what I know, that's the normal fee.
Question is, what was the promised price?
What do you mean promised price?
Only
Nobody
the
gives up
one
a
that made
soul
the
free.
deal really knows.
The deal, but I know that there's two ends to that bargain, and I've dealt with it before. There's always two ends to his bargains.
However, I think the map means the God Hand is actually in his domain, not here in the catacombs.
Well, wobbles by hell mean if you want to jump in and find out.
Oh, no. I have way too much shopping left to do.
Now, Safi, would you mind?
And at that point, if you would look over, Safi would kind of just be holding her hands up like this. They're like 4 pebbles glowing a light blue, rotating in her hand, or just above it. You know this is not the end of our bargain. I was promised the God's hand.
At this point, kind of picking something up here, Fiven's slowly backing away from the party, holding tight to that little pouch that he shoved whatever they found in Glittergem's tomb. And he's kind of backing away a little bit while you guys interact.
The rocks that you hold, please. And he almost like utterly announces it like you should really know, but obviously you don't.
You'd kind of be juggling these rocks right up in here, and with one hand just pull one and send it off towards you.
And upon it reaching the hands of this demon, it begins to almost liquefy into the red lava. And as it begins to liquefy in his hand, it doesn't flow over his hand like you almost thought it would have. It almost turns into like a papery type substance as he lies it down into the tomb itself, or into his sarcophagi. And then the room itself begins to turn red.
Fiven's now stopped backing away and has turned and started walking away, his back to all of you.
I almost picture it as you get to the wall to like leave, the door that you thought was there is no longer there.
Yeah, at that point he would turn around, whip out the wand, his wand, and it would just start icing over at the tip. This cold steam coming off of the end of it. He just kind of shoots his head back and looks at you, the demon. What is this?
It is a, how do you mortals call it? Portillo?
A portal. You're looking for the word portal. Spit it out.
It is a
The question is
portal.
why? Your business is not with me. I demand you let me leave.
And upon that, he begins to laugh. As the entire room begins to fill, like the borders of this room fill with lava itself. The room begins to become very stuffy, and what you thought were the walls that kept you in begin to melt away. And as they melt away, the plane of existence that you all knew begin to fade away.
Figuring this out now, because having known Safi a short while when he was learning, and knowing her personality, smidge would look at her and just, what did you do?
No, you agreed to come to me for the God's hand. That is what we are here for, nothing more. I fulfilled my end of the bargain, and now you must do the same.
I hope you're right this time.
So do I.
Well, I think Wobbles would just kind of be shaking his head and I can't believe I let people I didn't really know talk me into this. It's all because you five remind me of someone. And
I
that's,
can't believe you talked us into it either.
and that's where we'll end that scene. I mean,
That was a good one. That's my favorite scene so far.
question is it a positive or a negative for Wobbles?
I don't care who you are. That's a negative for everybody. You just got cast into some
Yeah,
portal.
I'm thinking that's a negative for all of us.
Big time.
So I'll take a black on that. And then Jordan, your scene.
Oh gosh. Do I resolve it or do I start a new one?
Tough call, especially with how I ended that one.
I think I'll so starting a scene is just picking up from where we left off, but it's a whole new
It technically could be anything within the same location. And so time could have passed. Some of us could be trying to rest. And it could be two people talking.
I do kind of want to resolve this one.
Yeah. Because we're kind of doing it as a foreshadow for the campaign, it makes sense to kind of pick up where each prior scene left off.
Yeah, so I think as we're the way this portal's working is it kind of shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. This lava getting closer, but not actually ever burning us as it engulfs us, and we all appear in this. Now it's the map we saw in the tomb, but we're in it. Everything's full size. Everything's lifelike and touchable. And upon landing, well, whatever, transporting, I think we'd all kind of be catching our breath, like time travel sickness, kind of waiting for the demon to do whatever he's going to do, because clearly he's running this thing and we have no power. And Fibbin is still gripping hard at that satchel that he stuck the wand in.
You hear Wobbles economics word, and your satchel just starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And Wobble just starts laughing.
At that point, Fibbin will just kind of look down and be like, What is happening? What is this? Wobbles? Stop it.
I told you you didn't want to keep that toy.
Wobbles? If you don't stop it, I will burn it.
Fine. And he'll speak the word again and the satchel quits growing. But it's still bigger than it was.
At this point, Fibbin's gonna look at Safi, Hope, whatever, and I don't think you're gonna get your end of this bargain.
With that, mentioning that to her, you see the look in her face has just become increasingly more aggravated as the time has elapsed in this crypt. And when you say that, it seems like not even 2 milliseconds after, she just turns and snaps to the demon. Enough of this. Take me to the God's hand.
Oh, poor girl. Lost as a child. You, my dear daughter, are in it.
Daughter? Did he say daughter?
Give to me what I seek.
What you seek lies in front of you. You have entered the God's hand. Welcome to the God's hand.
Well then, you look at Safi. The God's hand is what you were promised.
At that point, when you look over, she's just got her hands up, like right in front of her, and this like ice is like crawling up on the sides of her forearms to meet to the tips of her fingers. I've had enough of this.
I know that look.
Oh, fuck off your boy.
And upon you saying that, you see in this demon's eyes, they turn from the fiery black red that was originally there to having a white outlining as they begin to suck the very soul out of Wobbles.
I think at that point, not for the sake of Wobbles, because Fibbin could care less about Wobbles in actuality, but for the sake of wanting to get out of here, he takes one of those daggers off of his satchel and just whips it at the demon.
Nice. And I think as the soul all started to be sucked out of Wobbles, he would just look at Five and say, remember who raised you.
What did you say?
I said, remember who raised you. Of course, I was somewhat younger then. And poor Lambless, He just didn't survive. And I think that's where we end that session. Or that scene.
Awkward.
Yes. Now, was it a good result or bad result for 5?
Negative.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's negative once he figures out who Wobbles is.
But I wasn't raised by the gnome.
Yes.
I had parents. I was baptized by the gnome.
You were yeah, he was baptized by you. You weren't raised. You didn't necessarily raise him, from what I remember.
Yeah.
Because we were culturally linked.
Yeah, you were culturally
that was,
linked.
Oops, that was Damien and me.
That's why Fiven was so confused.
Spoiler alert.
Yep, wrong person.
Spoilers.
Remember who baptized you?
The red
Remember
card.
sprinkled the blood on you that one time.
Having
you
his
never
soul
saw them
sucked
again.
out must have tweaked him out a little
Messed
bit.
his brain. Tweaking me out.
Honestly, it's a bit of a stressful scenario. I can understand how he would get that mixed up in the midst of his soul being pulled from his body.
Yeah.
Honestly, with Fiven's nature, if Wobbles had said something like that, I would have let you get your soul sucked out.
And he probably did actually say it. Or started to.
I think
But
we
yeah.
brought it full circle now. I think it's back to Josh.
Yeah. Actually, before we go into that, everyone should have a die. And
Do we all have one?
yeah, we all should have a die for the scene we did.
I think I'm the only one that has a positive dice.
Yep. So we each roll it, a d6.
All right, so what's the difference between a black die and a positive die?
Black is negative if instead of positive.
I got a 1.
Okay. So a black 1, black 4, or black 6. So we have 10 black.
And a white 6.
And a white what?
6.
6. So black 4. Okay.
I thought you said black 10.
Right, but I think the 6 takes away from the 10.
Oh,
Yeah,
black
you
4.
subtract
Okay.
them.
Okay.
So on the tilt table,
I'm learning Fiasco.
you have a choice, or we have a choice. We can pick either the category at random or the definition at random, and then we use the act for to define it. So whatever is
What was the second one?
random is defined by that black fur.
You said the second
So-
one was a death?
So the choices we have are mayhem, tragedy, innocence, it's guilt, paranoia, or failure.
Paranoia.
Paranoia sounds fun.
Okay. So the 4 would be a sudden reversal or of status, of fortune, or of sympathy. That could be a good thing in Marble's case.
I'd say reversal of status for Wobbles.
So is it based on character itself, or is it a group thing?
It could be anything. It could be a certain character. It could be the group as a whole. It's whoever brings that into play decides.
I think
I
I'm
think it'd be
next,
cool.
right?
It'd be cool for
And of
Wobbles to
course,
have like a Jean Grey moment where she becomes so powerful and then overpowers the demon.
the demon gets to start as first scene in Act 2.
Yeah.
Or he can resolve it.
Okay, so my options are paranoia. Okay.
Yeah, you can pick any category, but we're stuck with the 4. So if we did mayhem, it would be magnificent self-destruction. If we did tragedy, it would be death right on time. If we did innocence, it would be collateral damage. If we did guilt, it would be greed leads to killing. Paranoia is a sudden reversal of status, fortune, sympathy. And failure is a good plan comes unraveled.
For the sake of time purposes, because I want to make sure Jordan gets to his prior obligation on time, I'm gonna go with our paranoia option.
Okay.
And I am going to say this. The entire world that you all are standing in begins to collapse on itself. This was the demon's home. This was the very world that the demon had set apart for himself. But for the 3 of you, as you look upon this demon, the red infernal flames that had etched out his very being begin to harden. And it's almost weird to all of you, as what was once the infernal skin that was laid with the fires begins to become almost humanoid in status and in function. As you essentially watch him become an angel. Now, as far as the world itself, the world collapses upon itself. The God's hand becomes no more. You all lie on top of an icy cold mountain. At the very top of the War Mountains. You can see in the distance below all of you the dwarven city of which Jaren lives. As the very existence of this demon sprouts wings, forgetting everything that evil that he has ever done. And all of you essentially watch all of this. So you all can describe what reversal happens to all of you.
Okay. Well, for Wobbles, I would assume it would be getting his soul back. So I just picture almost like a reverse motion. But the soul started to suck back into Wobbles, and then he kind of comes to. Goes, oh, you're not. Ignore me, Fives. I thought you were someone else.
Why don't you describe for all of us how your soul returning actually looks?
I imagine it just kind of like this. It's just kind of seeping into the body, and then almost kind of a cross like a zombie becoming aware again. It's about the best way I could describe it. Just kind of like he wasn't in his body, and then he really confused. And then he looks over to Effie and goes, if that was the God's hand, I thought we were after a weapon. How was we supposed to use that? Well, it doesn't matter now. Oh, it's then been destroyed. I suggest we go find somewhere warm and figure out our next adventure.
As you would look over to Safi, you're sitting cross-legged in the snow with her head like kind of tilted down in front of her, and her hands are on the ground in this 4 or 5 inches worth of snow, and you just see the snow in front of the hands just take a liquid form as the skin on her body heats up so hot that it starts to melt the snow, and she's just and after a moment she just opens her eyes. Whatever the goddamn was, it is no more. You're right. Fuck, I don't know what to do here.
Well,
seems like all of that was for nothing.
Yes, it certainly does seem that way, but perhaps when we return to the city and have some time for a meal, you'll explain why you needed it. Perhaps something else will work.
At this point, Fiven has his back to you two. He's reaching into that satchel to look over where he found his bounty, and as he reaches in, he doesn't feel the wand in there anymore. And he reaches out, and it's a vial. It's just probably about this big. As he pulls it out, steam comes off of it, and inside of it is this black and red just swirling around. As he looks, he realizes that this is the essence of what that world was when the gods hit. It's a piece of the wall or the ground or the portal that took them there, whatever it is, and it's just in here. He kind of looks over his shoulder to make sure no one sees it and smiles and puts it back in the satchel and says, well, for once I agree with Wobbles, I think we should go to the city.
Okay, good spot to end it. And now yet.
1 second.
Yeah.
As it's like Safi was taking these real deep breaths. And it's like inside of her mind, you guys wouldn't see this, but all of the fragments of the memories that she had of this demon, starting with the most prior, standing in that plane of fire, with the ice on her hands, those start to fall to pieces in her mind and become incoherent. That, the scene of the 4 of you standing in the crypts, the scene of you standing outside of the crypts, the scene of Safi in the middle of a forest with several stones piled in a circle, with herself sitting outside of it in a similar stance, what you see right now, sitting cross-legged with her hands on the ground. And if for a moment that demon pulls itself up out of the ground, and that memory gone.
Nice.
And that would be when she probably opened her eyes.
Nice. So
Very nice.
technically, we would normally keep going doing scenes, but I know we're running a bit low on time. So Act 2 worked just like the first act, where we each normally would do a scene, get a dice based on the result, and then we would do the aftermath. So, what I will say is we'll each roll a d6. And the DM will get to tell us what color it is for all four of us.
So
And remember the number.
It'll be positive for Josh, positive for Jaren, negative for Fiv, and negative for the demon.
Okay.
In that case, that's a black 1.
Okay. So remember that real quick.
I got a black 2.
Okay.
I ended up with a white 6 again.
Okay. We're gonna have to go one at a time. So black. I actually got the highest with the black 6.
You were light.
You're white.
Oh, okay. So who
You got a
was
white
high?
6.
Oh yeah, you said positive.
Yeah, you're positive. So essentially, Josh and Jaren are positive. Jordan and the demon are negative.
Jordan and the demon. What did you?
The demon got a black 2, and if I'm not mistaken, Fiv got a black 1.
Yep.
Okay. So for the demon, his aftermath is brutal, wounds that will never heal, stuff sawed off, blown off, or burned off on your way to grand ignoramus failure. Kiss whatever you care about goodbye. You may die, but you may not. So
I can see that.
So when you do your epilogue, you kind of keep that in mind. For Jordan, yours is horrible. You are probably dead. Other people, probably innocent people, are as well. There is no justice. There is no mercy. Everything is utterly, painfully screwed, and it is all of it, your fault.
Shouldn't have took the wand, bro.
I don't have the wand anymore. I don't have it. That was my reversal.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. So,
but now I know a good one.
White 6.
I also got a white 6.
Me. Oh, we both did? Okay. So that's weak. Hey, you're busted, beat, and broke down, but at least you learned a lesson about human greed and frailty, right? It will serve you well in prison, which is where you're probably headed.
So what did you say it was again? The first word? Weak?
Weak.
Okay. Damn, we ended with positive. We ended with positive 6s and we're weak. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to get a good roll, especially with the way we had to do it. We should have had more scenes and more dice to add and subtract. Yeah, so we go around it, and each of us will give an aftermath that kind of incorporates that. And I say the demon kicks it off.
Yes. Go demon.
As this demon, I hate you all, by the way, for making me start. As this demon transforms and transcends, he watches the very world he spends hundreds of years crafting and creating, essentially turned to nothingness, never forgetting his past, but realizing that everything that he has ever made lies dead. He essentially transcends into a very existence that lies in the everlasting heavenly plane, realizing that the very fact and thought of being with that so-called God forever haunts him and terrorizes him. You see him scratching and trying to pull off the very wings that are sprouting from his back, but to no avail, as his wings, without him really wanting to, begins to fly him up, up and up, farther and farther out of your guys' eye,
Nice.
as you hear random screams.
Nice. So, I said, hey, we just kind of keep the same order we've been doing. So that would be the next Josh.
You said this is still taking place where we ended the last scene?
It's the epilogue, so yeah, it could be pretty much anywhere. Us getting in the city sometime later.
Okay. If we're heading, well, no. I'm gonna set it here at the top of the mountain before we set off for the city. After rising from the sitting position, Safi would, kind of walk over, look over at Viv, and look over at Wobbles. Assuming you guys are kind of standing somewhere together. She would stand in front of you. How tall is your character, Viv?
He's 6'1".
So, towering over Wobbles and just a couple of inches taller than Viv, Safi would then go to her knees in front of the two of them and just kind of bow her head in shame. I must apologize. This is all my fault, especially to you. And she looks up to you, Wobbles, who's probably eye level with her. Certainly, I knew the outcome of this scenario, but I thought that I would be able to change it, and I was not. You almost lost your soul due to me, and for that I must apologize.
Bubbles are just kind of looking odd says, well, perhaps you learned a deal about greed. It's never wise to bargain with unless you have the upper hand.
At that moment, you looked at her. Normally a pretty neutral, happy-go-lucky person, Safi. Shut up, Josh. Normally a pretty happy-go-lucky tiefling. When Safi looks up at you, there are tears welling up in the corners of her eyes, and she kind of just dabs them away.
Nice.
Certainly, I will not forget this lesson.
Nice. 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 And that will be Wobbles all's up next. And I imagine this is pretty much as we're making it down this mountain, getting closer to the city. You guys see Wobbles start to limp, almost as if he was injured, but physically he seems fine. And he just is pats at his little satchel. Oh, goes. It's back where it belongs. Oh, however, let's go have a meal. I believe my home will suit us. As we can at least get warm there and have some warm food in our belly. After all, how dare you guys bring a queen such as me out in this environment? It's rather harsh on my skin. And that's where I'll end my epilogue.
All right. So as we're walking down this mountain, I assume we haven't made it too far with all this happening after Soppy's confession and Wobbles being Wobbles. I figure Fiven just realized after Wobbles says this, and looking to his left at the edge of the mountain and seeing at the bottom of this mountain, I mean a good distance down, a dwarven settlement. Outside the city, it might be a farm, it might just be a hut. He doesn't know. And he looks over at Safi and pulls out this vial that has that little essence of the God's Hand, of that dominion in it, and looks at Safi and goes, well, as I said to you all those years ago, better luck next time. And he goes and jumps off the side of the mountain and just starts free falling to the dwarven city below. And as he's falling, he still has this God's thing in his hand. He didn't put it back. This bird swoops by, knocking the God's hand from him. And he sees it fall in slow motion, and his eyes widen as it hits, falling faster than he does, into this little dwarven farm or settlement, into flame, consuming the entire settlement. And it's just a roaring fire down there. You could see little people running around, burning all over the place as they run from this house. And at this point, Piven's eyes, he just kind of looks back up to the mountain, hoping no one saw it, and casts Featherfall on himself as he just kind of slightly sums down next to the flame and just runs off in the opposite direction.
Nice.
Wow.
Good job, guys.
I know we were a little constricted for time, but
Yeah.
how did everybody think of the little snapshot into Tiira?
Dude, that was fucking awesome, man. Fiasco,
awesome.
man.
It was fun, and it was a little awkward because we literally got making the playset like right before we switched Hangout, so I didn't really have time to explain Fiasco itself.
But I love it. I mean, it gives you enough room to create, but gives you a good push in the right direction with what it does. And it's fun because I didn't plan on killing, but it was fun to kind of do it when it happened after my aftermath.
Yeah.
Cool the way it does that. I like it a lot.
And we could have done any characters, as you literally can make your characters up on the spot. We just happened to say we were going to use the event we made for the campaign.
I like it because it's going to flesh out a little history that we can roleplay in the campaign, but people won't understand unless they watch the video.
Yeah.
I I didn't think that Safi would be the type to deal with, demons or anything. But in the end, I think it helps with the fact that starting the campaign, she'd be true neutral.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and it gives us a little bit of like personality ideas, and I definitely think I hit Wobbles pretty good.
Pretty spot on.
Although I couldn't do much with him being a druid because I didn't have his sheet up.
It was more role play, and I like that fact that it was just like it let you guys kind of interact with each other, kind of get used to each other's characters without having the mechanics really get in the way.
Fiasco is really good for like storytelling. The main thing is using the dice for the tilt and the aftermath once you have the setup made.
Where does this take place in terms of the campaign that we're going to be playing in, time-wise?
Time-wise, it's level 1, so however much time you really want it to be. He's, from what I understand, Wobbles has been in this dwarven settlement for like 300 and something years.
Yeah.
And you're only 20. So
right, but Fibbin grew up just outside of it, so he's been there doing merch and stuff, but he doesn't like the Dwarven City.
Yeah,
I still don't know where my character was born or where
if we
they were
go,
raised.
yeah, if we go kind of based off of the backstory I provided Josh, I've only been traveling with the group for like a year after fleeing the Durban city for killing my husband.
So probably within a month of him actually killing his husband.
Yeah. So I
would be
imagine
where he met you guys.
Yeah.
And
So
even still, that gives us enough room to redo that first encounter of when you meet Wobbles and his, fleeing his past.
That's what I was going to ask, if we have been traveling together all this time between level 2 and 3, or if it's been long enough between them that we may not remember each other exactly, and we'll have to replay how we meet.
I think that I definitely want to have the reintroduction of Safi and Fiv, because there's going to be some words.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be stuff now, because like in this, Wobbles were just a higher than.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Which fits his background occupation as an explorer.
Yeah, so I'd honestly probably say that you guys had split up for at least, a little while. And I almost imagined that as far as the campaign is concerned, that the way I end up starting up the campaign is like your guys' first time kind of seeing each other after your encounter with this. Granted, this is like just a little bit of the world itself. So realistically, you guys can completely ignore this if you guys really wanted to. But I also wanted to give you enough spacing to kind of interact with each other before the official campaign started, because we are starting at level 3, so there's a little bit of offhand for the prior levels.
It would be interesting to revisit this Fiasco playset before we kick off the campaign too, and maybe flesh out other places in the world. And
well, if we continue this one, Pippin's no longer with the group because he jumped off a mountain. So.
Yeah.
He ran off.
So I have to ask then, did you set your village on fire?
No, this was it's part of the Dwarven City, but it's not. They don't live within the walls, kind of thing.
Okay, so I'm just asking because the way you kind of made it seem like you set your own city on fire. So I just wanted to see.
My city's a day or two outside like the mountain range. This one was like you could see the from this settlement, but it's not part of the city walls itself. Is how I pictured it.
But yeah, as far as using the Fiasco playset that we made for this, we can use any character. It doesn't have to be the ones we use for the campaign. So we got a chance to flesh out the world and somewhat given DM availability and desire to have player input.
Josh, when you said that, I can just see a look on your face, like, what the fuck is he doing? You thought I set my own village on fire.
No, I figured it. I understood what you said about the like a farming. Oh my god, there's a spider. God. Anyway, no, I thought there's like a farming community outside of the mountains. Like, you don't find farms inside of like city walls.
Right. Yeah. Or whatever the equivalent of a dwarf. I don't know if dwarves really farm that much.
They farm rocks.
Yes, a miner.
But
No, I mean, they just go pick rocks up outside.
But it was
and move them
definitely,
somewhere else.
it was definitely a lot of fun.
So what do you guys kind of think as far as like how I explain things, how things have kind of been set up for the world? I know you only got like a couple minutes, Jordan, so that's why I'm trying to like get last minute thoughts.
I could have like this. How I judge things like that is if I went to watch this kind of thing in a theater with people playing it, like I could see this as like a short film, and it would be amazing to watch, and I would leave wanting more. So I think everything was set up perfectly and done perfectly.
Nice.
The only reason I say short film is because of time, obviously. Like I could see this as a full feature-length movie if we had time to like flesh out scene after scene after scene.
Oh yeah, I could definitely have played some more Fiasco. Now that I know how it works, it just is really fun.
One of the things we didn't do is typically a given time, you actually do one scene for each of the dice in the original pool as well. And you divide them.
Yeah, I'd love to sit down and play like Fiasco for a long.
Yeah, but we normally just go around like twice because of time constraints.
So what did you guys think of the Tiira Fiasco that me and Jaren, mostly Jaren, made up?
Did you just come up with that?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, is this the official Fiasco or like?
No, this is something we made specifically for the Tiira setting.
I would not have known.
Yeah, I didn't know because I mean I've never read Fiasco. So.
Yeah, they actually
it works very well.
Yeah, they have a blank template, and then you kind of decide what categories you want for the different things, and then you pick like an option to write down. And
no, I mean if the rest of Tiira is going to be this this dark and adventurous, I'm really excited.
Oh, we can do a lot, and we can do multiple playsets too. It only took us maybe 2 hours to rip that playset out.
Right.
And it's almost done enough that we could actually put it out as an official Fiasco playset. There's just a few odds and ends that we can do.
I would play for friends. I mean, the moral decisions you have to make and the dilemmas you face. And I like it. I think it was good.
Yeah, I would have liked to have a little bit more time making it so we could have named some of the stuff cool choices.
Right.
As we went kind of generic on some stuff. Just because we were running low on time.
So then, Jaren and Josh, I really didn't get too much of your guys' opinions as to how the world itself is kind of sounding, how it's working.
I'm loving it so far. It was a little bit difficult with playing because I definitely caught kind of that wanted to DM a one-shot feel, whereas Fiasco really isn't set up for a DM, and like each person describes the scene, and which we kind of got, but not quite as much as the Fiasco system normally does.
As far as the world goes, what I was introduced to, I liked. I just don't think that there was enough, put on the table just yet. Like we had the crypt. Crypt seemed awesome. Then the mountaintop overlooking the Dwarven settlement was cool. But as far as we know, that's all that was given to us. But what was given to us was nice. I like it. And the whole background with the gods and the demons, I like that as well.
And there was only one spot in the crypt.
Now I need more.
Yeah,
I know. By looking at that map, there's all sorts of more places.
Yeah, just on the playset alone, we can't aim up with the 6 options for each category on locations. Just like with the relationships, the needs.
So all those places on that playset, those are all already in the world?
Somewhere.
Cool.
Doesn't necessarily have to be where we played. And a lot of them are pretty generic, although there's some that are pretty cool features.
I'm gonna end the broadcast here, and then you can show them what we have so far. Well, for all of those who will watch in the future, because I don't think anyone really watched it live, enjoy. Thank you for watching. You've been watching RPG Enlightenment. May you only seek enlightenment, and have a good evening.